Hey there, here's what you'll need for this episode. Okay, friends, it's time to make our way back into Caso Art Studio for another episode of Clubcasso. I am thrilled for you to meet our guest today. So come on inside and let's go have some fun. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us back here at Kid Caso's Clubcasso. This is a super sweet and most peaceful guest that I have today, and I'm so excited to share and to dive right into this amazingness that is in front of me. This is Suzanne.
Hi.
And Suzanne, you come to me and come to us with such a rich background in nature and being present in all of the gifts that surround us, especially in a world that moves really fast these days.
That's true.
So how do you feel you slow down either in the beginning of the day, the middle of the day, or the end of the day? How are you finding that moment to ground yourself and set yourself up for awesomeness?
That is such a great question. And so what I like to do is I love to build with elements that I find in nature and just create temporary pieces of earth art. What I asked you to do today was to bring something that was important to you or special to you, something that you felt connected with that is from the earth. And we are going to start by placing that item in the center of our circles here, our wooden circles, and then we're going to create some earth art and ground ourselves.
Beautiful.
Yep.
All right, so I dug around in all of my treasure troves. Everybody knows I have a lot of bright colored things and a lot of different textures.
Yes.
I would normally be connected to something that was very glittery and sparkly, but I chose this stone, which is actually a jewelry piece that was donated to us. And I picked it because of the colors in it. That's what kind of brought my attention to it.
Oh, nice. That's great. Well, I brought a piece of tiger iron. This is a palm stone, and I very often do keep it in my pocket to help me feel nice and grounded. And the reason I love tiger iron is because it's made from tiger's eye and red jasper. So tiger's eye really helps us with motivation and creativity, and it boosts your self-confidence. And then the red jasper, the red iron, really keeps us nice and grounded.
Beautiful. May I see it?
Yes,
Thank you. Oh, this is so cool, you guys. So while you're at home right now, are there treasures that you might have in your collections? Do you have a collection at home? Did you have a collection when you were a kid?
Oh my gosh, I've had earth treasure collections forever. Yes.
I feel like a lot of kids will collect shells, rock collection.
Definitely.
Right, cool.
Definitely.
So if you want to jump into this project with us today, if they don't have a piece of wood at home,
That is okay.
all right, any suggestions on what they could grab?
You don't even have to grab anything. You can do it right on your floor. Just clear an open space for yourself, sit down, maybe take a couple of deep breaths to sort of center yourself and get a little grounded. Grab your piece of special treasure, put it in the center, and then we'll build.
All right, cool. All right, start grounding with me. Get me grounded.
All right, let's put our little piece in the center. Let's take a minute. Let's take maybe 3 deep breaths. Okay.
Oh, that feels so good. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. So what I have brought are many items from my nature treasure collection. I have feathers, I have pine cones, I have these Chinese lanterns.
That's neat.
My grandmother used to collect these, so I have a special place in my heart for these.
Cool.
Acorns, little beans, seashells, some crystals, and dried roses, some other dried flowers. So you can just use anything you like that you're drawn to from nature.
All right, that sounds good.
And so what I like to do first is to just sort of feel like what I'm being drawn to in this moment. Okay. And then you just start by building around your center.
Okay.
And then you build outward from there.
All right.
Yeah, that's
I feel like I have to decide
which way. Yeah.
my first stone is going to go.
And here's the thing. There's no wrong way to do this. You cannot do this wrong. So that's a beautiful aspect of this. And you can also change. If you put it down one way and it doesn't feel right, you can always just turn it.
All right. I'm happy with it there.
Good. Okay. What's going to be first for you?
All right. So I am immediately drawn to this, and I want to know where this came from. I feel like something is pulling me in. I definitely think it's the circular shape with it.
Yes.
And that has the twist to it.
Yes. So I actually have a whole box of these twisty branch wreaths. So making twisty branch wreaths is another way that I ground myself. I love taking my dog for walks in the woods. Sometimes I just go for a walk in the woods by myself too. But my eyes are always dancing and they're always, wanting to collect all the things. And one of the things that I love the most are twisty branches. And so very often I will find branches that have fallen on the ground that are twisty already. And I will continue to walk and sort of meditate by twisting them into a wreath. And then later I will use my wreaths for mandala making, or, I will sometimes weave string and crystals and different items into the wreath, and I make earth art from those as well.
What I love about this and connecting this to the busyness that we all feel on a daily basis, I feel like that immediately started our conversation today, is that we're always looking for something to fidget with.
Yes, that's so true.
And fidgets are great. I mean, we know we love slime.
Yeah, right.
Maybe mom and dad don't like slime, but we know you love slime.
True.
We know that kids like the squeezy tubes and the things that you manipulate. What I love about this is it's right in your own backyard.
It's true.
It is right on a trail, right on a place to walk. It's an invitation to create something and start to bend and twist and manipulate.
Absolutely. So what you can do now is you might want to choose small things to fill the space, or you might want to just go right to the outside.
Okay, sounds good.
The choice is yours.
Cool. So as we start kind of playing and picking things, how do you feel like nature and exploring, where was this as an inspiration for you when you were a child?
When I was a child, I always liked to be outside. I always did like to connect with nature by collecting, but I didn't start building this kind of thing until I was an adult. Instead, what I would do is I would draw pictures of nature, and I would draw pictures of the things that I was collecting. And so that was a way for me to, bring the outdoors in and to connect with nature. Nature is a healer, right? I feel like nature is a healer for adults. Nature is a healer for children. It just does really give us the opportunity to maybe quiet the brain energy. And I feel like when we can have that time and opportunity to let the thoughts settle, our whole energy vibe changes.
I feel like when I look at everything here on the table, I just want to live right here. I want to be like a little fairy living here.
Yeah, I would like that too. But I'd like to live right there.
Well, thank you, because I actually was feeling like this is actually kind of hard for me.
Is it? It seems like you're a natural. This seems like it's just naturally flowing out of you.
Well, thank you for saying so. How do you feel, or what tips could you give me to kind of calm that feeling of not having control over something? I think maybe that feeling of things moving on me and not staying in place is definitely conflicting with me.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like sort of going back to what I was talking about in the beginning, just very briefly, is that you cannot do this wrong. And so if your little beans wiggle a little bit and it, kind of frustrates you for a minute, I think you can just sort of take a step back and maybe just remember that there is no wrong way to do it. And also sometimes, if that little bean moves in a way that you weren't planning, it might move in a way that invites you to put something else there, maybe to stabilize it. And maybe that's going to introduce a whole new piece, and it's going to take your artwork in another direction.
A different place that you didn't think
that you
could
did
go.
not expect. Right. Yeah.
I think that's true of life too, right?
Definitely.
You don't know necessarily where you're going to end up. And sometimes that big picture can feel really big.
Yes. And I think that in a way that we've, given ourselves an idea of how we think something should look or feel, that's pressure that we're putting on ourselves that doesn't necessarily need to be there. It's a hard practice, I think, to just release that sense of wanting to do something, like I said, like correctly.
Yeah.
And following the rules. And this is something where there's so much space to be creative, and there's so much space to just try things out. And because also this is a temporary art piece, there isn't really like that pressure of like, well, it's a finished piece that's going to last forever, and it's going to be seen and, I don't know, criticized.
Well, that
or
you can
like,
continue to manipulate it like you did with the
you can continue to manipulate
branches.
it. Yes, that's true. I think we get trapped in feeling like we have to do something in a certain way
Definitely.
for it to be good.
When you start playing with objects in nature, there's so many different levels of them. You can see something different just by flipping it over.
Yeah, that's totally true. And that's another thing too, is especially with things like the dried flowers, I feel like we're giving something a new life. These little roses, when they were in full bloom and they were in their full glory, people love them and they appreciate them, but they tend to just toss them in the trash once they've died.
Yeah.
And this gives them a whole new lease on life.
Definitely. I'm going to do something scary.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to destroy mine.
You are.
I'm going to destroy it.
Go for it.
Okay?
Go for it. And now you have a blank canvas.
And now I'm ready to begin again.
You can begin again.
So what should I do? let's pretend I'm going to go nature collecting.
Okay. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So what do I need? What are my top 3 things
That you need to
I
have.
need to have?
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, you need a trail treasures pouch.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like to sometimes use either like a fanny pack.
Yep.
That's got to be big enough, though, to collect, a fair amount of treasures. And if you're like me, you might also be drawn to long sticks.
Yeah.
So you might want to have a fanny pack for the little things.
Okay.
And have a backpack or a tote bag. A reusable bag is great that you can put your bigger treasures in. I also really love to collect rocks. So you might want something that has a little bit of heft to it so that it can hold the rocks. And I would say you need good shoes because you don't know what kind of terrain you're going to come across. Might be muddy, might be rocky.
Okay.
And let's see, a third thing, I would say a bottle of water. You want to stay hydrated.
Very true. That is important.
Yes.
Okay, so top 3 things. And then how do I start my journey? Okay, because now it might come as a surprise to all of you. But Miss Small, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll show you my boots later that I'm wearing. I mean, my boots maybe are very good trail boots.
I would leave those cute little boots at home.
I got to get more adventurous. I think it's time. I think it's a challenge for me to get out there a little bit more in nature.
Okay.
So where do I start this journey? Because I know cities really well.
That's okay. You can start in the city. You can start in your own backyard. If you don't have a backyard, that's totally okay too. Once you start looking for treasures, you're going to start seeing them really everywhere. You're going to start seeing
Like a big I spy of the world around you.
It is a big I spy of the world. I'm telling you, my eyes are just constantly dancing. Just start opening your eyes and just start looking all around you.
Any of us can do this.
Absolutely anybody can do this.
At any time.
At any time. This is so cool. I love it.
I feel like it took a totally different turn than my first one.
What's really fun that you can do is to build an entirely new piece with exactly the same pieces and see how different it turns out the second time around.
So many different options.
Yeah.
And I see that there's a story within each piece that we played with and used. And then together, a story is coming alive. So I'm going to finish up part of my circle. Is yours done?
I think mine's done. I'm feeling like it's done. Yeah.
All right. We also encourage you guys at home, make something and send a picture to us. Share your work. You're allowed to share and be proud of the things that you made.
Absolutely. I would love to see what you built.
Last thing
Yeah.
we have to do.
Okay.
We have to do our good compliment fortune.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you ready?
I am. Sure.
All right. I'm going to bring us back.
All right.
All right. You're going to remember this as soon as I show you.
Oh, yes, of course.
All right.
Yes.
You're going to help me spell out all these words, though.
Okay.
All right. You guys at home are going to have to help me, too. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Give me a color.
Yellow.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Let's spell it out together.
Okay.
Y-E-L-L-O-W. Give me a number.
Ooh, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Do I choose 7? I'm going to go with 7 again.
Going with 7
Yeah.
again. Okay. This is your good fortune for the day. Your warmth and friendliness make everyone feel like they belong, turning even the simplest interactions into moments of genuine connection.
That's lovely.
That is legit
lovely.
perfect. Like, what are the chances, you guys? Like, seriously? That's not pre-done, guys. I didn't set that up.
No. Nope.
That's just
not.
fate.
The universe works in mysterious ways.
It does.
And what I love about building these is that it does really rely heavily on your intuition. It's just about what you're drawn to using, what feels really good, and that you are connecting with whatever parts of you needs that special connection right now.
Trusting yourself.
Trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, and also you're connecting with the moon and her energy too. The moon is always a sign that we should be connecting with our intuition.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And you guys at home, don't forget to connect with all of the energies that are around you. Slow down.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. And go play a game of I Spy, maybe out in nature.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
All right. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
I promised you guys I was going to show you my boots. That's a wrap for today. I'm out of here. But before I leave, let's take note of something that was challenging for us today. For me, it was seeing those jumping beans popping all over that piece of wood. It was easier for me to start fresh by cleaning up my art and creating a new story. How are you going to create a story? Who are you going to share with?